Hello, everyone, and welcome to hour 14 of our 32-hour not contiguous hours. We've learned our lesson. We're sleeping at night this time. Welcome to our 32-hour Hangout-a-Thon. This is a session I have been deeply, desperately awaiting because we have a real life paleontologist in the house. Trevor Vale, welcome so much. Did I pronounce your last name correct? Because I had a panic attack as I said it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I get it all the time. It's Valley, which is anglicized from Valle.
Okay.
So yeah, Trevor Valley's fine.
All right. Joining me
All
again.
good. All good.
Thank you. Joining me again this section is one of my favorite geologists, Beth Johnson. And I have with me, I'm going to get it as close to the camera as I can, a sadly, slowly fading scan from the days of really bad flatbed scanners of a page in a magazine, and I haven't been able to find this yet. At the top of the page, it says Escape Mechanism 3. Air blast. When a comet or asteroid strikes a planet, it creates an enormous explosion that throws rock, water, dinosaurs, and air into space. Now, on the day the dinosaurs met environmental experiences that they were not evolved to handle, many things happened.
I'm going to say, I don't think we're evolved to handle either, but okay.
Yeah, no.
So I'm starting to learn I can't really say the day the dinosaur died. And Trevor, why shouldn't I say the day the dinosaurs died?
Because when you eat dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets, you're eating dinosaurs. Birds, specifically aves, are the closest living. Well, they are technically dinosaurs. So sometimes you hear paleontologists say the closest living relative. That's because dinosaurs split into two different branches. You have your avian dinosaurs and your non-avian dinosaurs. They're still dinosaurs. So the days, it would be probably the day that most of the really, really big dinosaurs died. And then the rest of them slowly died thereafter, except for tiny little birds and things like that were managed to survive.
Or were more than 30 centimeters beneath the soil, or were deep enough in the ocean that time. Right. So we all learned as children that there were these giant critters, bigger than anything we can currently imagine based on our day-to-day experiences, unless you happen to have experienced a blue whale. And this is one of those things where I think every little kid has to be awestruck and inspired and driven to go down the rabbit hole, reading everything they can about dinosaurs and astronomy, because we also are rather big. We have Jupiter in the red spot after all.
Just a little, universe.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So,
small rock hit by an even smaller rock.
Yes. Now, you chose dinosaurs as your career, whereas I chose space and Beth wandered back to space. When you started studying dinosaurs, we're about the same age. We didn't know what ended them. What was the fascination for you, being the right age, to see this story in real time as a kid as it was being discovered?
Weirdly enough, I was never really interested in dinosaurs as a kid. Funny that I'm talking to two space folks. I wanted to fly the space shuttle. Like, I wanted to be commander of the space shuttle. I wanted to go up. I live in Los Angeles. Endeavor is literally right down the road.
Yeah.
That was my dream. Obviously, since I'm not currently orbiting the planet, that didn't work out. So I studied biology, and then I went to work at an aquarium, and then I met folks from a natural history museum, specifically the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County, who I started working in the live animal department, again, because biology. And then they went, hey, you know bones, since I have taken multiple osteology courses for those watching osteology, study of bones. And they're like, why don't you want to come to the Dinosaur Institute and start cleaning this Triceratops skull? I'm like, why not? and, then, and then shortly thereafter, in 2008, all of a sudden it's like, so we're transferring you to the La Brea Tar Pits, and you're going to be the assistant lab supervisor and eventually the lab supervisor. I'm like, okay, sure. At least those things are slightly closer in time to humans. And yeah, so naturally everything started falling into place and going on digs and doing research and getting geology back in my head. And all of a sudden I'm in Utah pulling a skull of Utah-Ceratops gettyi off of the top of Horse Mountain. I'm cleaning fossils. I'm doing these talks. I'm ripping on Jurassic Park. And yeah, it just everything. I side-loaded into paleontology. But because I was so interested in space, I do remember in the 80s, the Alvarez hypothesis. So Walter Alvarez was a geologist, and in the late 70s, he started discovering in various places on the planet a very, very fine layer of iridium.
Mm-hmm.
Iridium is a specific element, a specific mineral that is only deposited during an asteroid impact. So if you start digging into the geologic record in all these different places and finding this same layer of iridium covered by burned soil and charcoal and disturbing impact crystals and all of that, something really bad happened somewhere. And they managed to date it to right around 65.5 to 66 million years ago. And then they went looking for the crater, and they found it. And I think the latest numbers.
That's the part I remember, was when they found the crater, because the data had always been there in the data collected by the oil companies who were setting up oil platforms in the Gulf of Mexico. And they finally were like, oh, yeah, no, we have this data. We'll share it with you. And the scientists went, okay, well, we think it has something to do with these cenotes in Mexico. And then when you trace it all out, like the cenotes and these spots that they located with the gas and oil data all matched up to this very beautiful crater off the Yucatan, well, on and off the Yucatan Peninsula.
Yeah, I think latest estimate from the rim drilling of the crater, it's 110 miles wide and something around 12 miles deep. But now the depth is variable because a lot of material probably slumped back into it because it was a shallow ocean impact. But like 110 miles wide.
Yeah.
That's it today. Again, water, erosion, continent shifting, and all of that. It's like it could have been significantly larger. I believe, Beth, correct me if I'm wrong. Also, Pamela, correct me if I'm wrong. We're estimating the Chixulub impactor as about 8 to 10 miles in diameter, about like 14 kilometers or so.
Yeah.
Last I heard. Right. Yeah.
No smaller than 10 kilometers.
Yeah, no, yeah, it couldn't be smaller than 10 kilometers. A while ago, I had I was doing a Nerd Night talk about this very subject, and I had calculated, and I just brought up my own slide. It released approximately 100 teratons of TNT energy. So it's 4.5 billion times Little Boy, which was the Oppenheimer bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima.
Now, I want to focus in on this for a second. So, a lot of stuff on dinosaurs, even today, is like, so asteroid hit, massive air blast, massive shockwave, all sorts of stuff thrown up into the atmosphere, some of it thrown out of the atmosphere, and then it got cold. But I feel like there needed to be this intermediate step, and Neil Stephenson hits on it in his Seven Eves book, where what went up must come down and shed its kinetic energy into the atmosphere as it is slowed to its terminal velocity. What information do we have on the easy-baked dinosaur oven of an atmosphere that may have come at that point? I broke Trevor. I feel like I leveled up.
What a great way to put that. I'm going to steal that for my next talk on the subject.
She always has a great turn of phrase.
Right. The main thing we know about material falling back is because we've found aspects of it. These long crystalline they look like crystalline teardrops of molten material falling back through the atmosphere, superheating and then supercooling and hitting the ground. But when you're talking, I don't even know how much material would be thrown out. Beth, do you have any ideas? Something that large?
Oh.
Like we're talking like billions of cubic yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. It's a lot.
There used to be a land mass in the Gulf of Mexico that is not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's numbers that don't actually like mean anything to me, and my brain just goes, yeah, that number means nothing. Also, by the way, if you Google search Chixulub crater, there's an Easter egg.
Yeah,
and
it's so cool.
I'm dying right now, so give me just a moment, because that was like one of the best things. Google bless you for your Easter eggs, because between that and the DART mission one,
yes,
I'm crying.
Yeah, I don't know how much yeah, I don't know. Wait, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Because I know the National Science Foundation has an article on it. And let me just see. NSF, Chixulub. Yep, there's the Easter egg. And let's see. Okay. No, that's how much the okay. So I mean it says that wow. That the tsunamis transported 48,000 cubic miles of sediment.
Oh yeah, and up into, like, you can find it up in Nebraska and Kansas.
Yes.
We're going to get to the Tanis fossils in a moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Oh, I was a little bit off. The impact was accompanied by a massive plume of 25 trillion metric tons of molten material.
Yeah, see, it's a number that means nothing. Like it's like the size of space. It's like, okay, yeah. It's a big number.
Right. When you have that much material falling back into the atmosphere, yes, it has to shed its kinetic energy. So you briefly have a global firestorm that spreads from the impact crater as everything begins to fall down, gets caught in the gravity well, comes to the other side of the Earth. While there's world-wrecking earthquakes and a tsunami and an inferno blast wave that goes out, I think it's something about 800 kilometers.
And let's not forget there were the Deccan traps going off at the same time-ish. And so there's a whole other issue on the other side of the planet that's contributing to the horribleness.
Yeah. It was not a very good time on that, say, Thursday.
In spring. In spring. We can be very specific here.
It was a horrific event. Like you
Yeah.
had the like as you say, the Deccan Traps, a series of massive volcanism that was occurring when the Indian subcontinent decided to kiss Asia
Yeah.
really hard. And all that was just destroying that whole region. And then you had space go, well, screw it.
While we're at it, here's a rock.
Yeah. Hi, can you catch this comet? Oh, I'm sorry. It was like I forgot what the I forgot what the speed it was going. It was a lot. But I do know that had it not hit where it did because of the shallow water that it was in, plus of the material that was down there, a lot of gypsum, salt, other heavy, easily aerosoled minerals, and water vapor. If it would have hit it in a deeper spot, it would have been catastrophic, but maybe not an extinction level event. If the Earth would have turned a little bit longer and it hit into the deeper Pacific, yeah, we would have like really bad tsunamis and things like that, but not nearly as much as what happened. When big things hit land, bad things happen.
Yes.
And we're actually at some point in the near future going to have Melanie During on. I'm going to let you talk about her because you know her personally. Go for it.
Melanie is, oh God, what, like, it does so much. Like, I have to pull up her CV because she does everything. So specialist in specialists in strict geosciences. One of the greatest women in current paleontology. Uppsala University, I believe.
Yes.
Has a YouTube channel, Genuine Rock Stars, and is one of my favorite kind of people because the face of paleontology is changing. My thing online, Tattoos and Bones, because I'm a tattooed paleontologist. Melanie, bright purple hair.
Yeah.
Pink, but specializing in like both large scale events and really, really small aspects of paleobiology, predator-prey relationships, paleobotany, how things interacted with each other. She is just an earth goddess of that kind of info.
Yeah. And she submitted the first paper on the Tanis fossils.
Yes.
And it sadly was not the first one published. And so she really deserves a lot of the credit for the Tanis fossil discoveries, where they found like the leg of a dinosaur and fish that had silica in their gills, and silica does not belong in gills, and shredded pieces of dinosaur just washed up where there shouldn't have been a tsunami in basically mid-America. And this is one of the greatest discoveries so far this century. And it allows us to know, based on the fish populations, that the asteroid hit in spring. And it's just wild to know that something millions of years ago could be dated back to a single season. And I'm really mad she doesn't get enough credit for this discovery.
Yeah. Me too. The whole release of information, I'm not going to explain the other scientists involved.
You can Google that one.
Yeah.
You can Google it. It was before a lot of the data was fully researched, before Melanie really got her hands into the data. There was the national press release before it was even in preprint that, hey, look, we found the place where the dinosaurs died. And then the site was locked down and other people couldn't go and study it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Melanie is really one of our only true and honest and qualified people that have studied that material.
Yeah.
And it's both fantastic that she was there, an absolute crime that she doesn't get the credit, and an affront to science of the gatekeeping that is going on for that site.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I would love to have like Dave Moscato and everybody from the Gray Fossil site who are intimately knowledgeable about fish. The Gray Fossil site is a wonderful preserved area that they literally have varves that are lips in sediment where lakes would refill and then dry and evaporate. They have fossil varves in the Gray Fossil site. Having just him go out there and be able to look at that material would tell us a ton, but no, unfortunately, because it's I don't remember the reasons why, and it makes me mad.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people that could benefit from going there to do their own work on it, and of course, the recognition that Melanie deserves.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it went from wonderful discovery to I'm gonna put myself on the evening news. Not me, but people involved.
There is a human being who is no longer at the institute he was at. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He who shall remain nameless.
Yes.
And it's really because the site, according to the one paper that was published, shows some very amazing things. There are some conjectures and a little bit of reaching that it seems in some places, but it looks extremely promising that, yes, this is, if not during the impact event, weeks, possibly months or years after, as tsunamis recede and everything going on. It's remarkable. I wish there was more information available on it, unfortunately.
Now, I don't know the literature as much as I wish I had the time to know it, because I am the kind of nerd that will read nature and science articles in fields that are not my own because they're cool. I am currently on a news moratorium unless that news comes from National Geographic.
Yeah.
And there are other folks that are making other amazing discoveries about both right at the end of the dinosaur period and right as life started to return to land. Can you help us understand what is new today in this field that I've forgotten more about from when I was a little kid than I know now as an adult?
There is not just of the PKG event, the dinosaur meteor, but we're also learning about a multitude of the other great extinctions.
Yes.
The great dying during the Permian. We've got the great oxygenation event.
Those are terrifying.
Yeah, it's
these
like,
are the scariest things.
Yeah, algae comes and goes. We can breathe carbon dioxide, dumps oxygen in the atmosphere, and everything dies. It's just like all of these horrible things, like possibility of a gamma ray burst hit and did bad things. But the radical thing that happened, had that asteroid hit later in deeper water and that extinction event did not occur, we probably would not be here.
Yeah,
exactly. That as I said before, talking about planetary defense earlier in the week with someone from the DART mission, it's yes, it's the big giant dinosaurs were wiped off the face of the earth, but that also allowed smaller creatures like mammals to rise from the literal ashes and become the dominant species.
Yeah. And tiny little tree shrews that went, dude, all the big stuff's dead. Let's go.
Yeah.
Because mammals being able to regulate our temperature freely, being able to be, covered in hair. I mean, yes, dinosaurs were large. Likely they were a type of warm-blooded, but that was probably due to something called gigantothermy. They were so large, they're generating their own heat, except for flying ones, because they are also warm-blooded, endotherms and things. But that one instance, after the years-long nuclear-style winter had stopped and the sun started peeking out, the small animals that were able to eat on roots of dormant plants or scavenge on carcasses took over the world.
Yeah.
Leading to us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the first time. Lystrosaurus survived an extinction event, a massive extinction event, and millions of years prior, to the point where it was 70% of the population on the planet. One species, one genus, and a handful of species. That's it. So it's very possible, and they were mammal-like reptiles. It's amazing how much nature can rebound from an event like that. But when I do these kinds of talks, I like looking out into the audience and go, guess what? You know the horrible thing when some parents may say you're a mistake? We are a mistake. A great cosmic reset button happened to hit an inhabited planet where a series of life forms could survive. That's it.
Yep.
We are descended from small things that lived, or at least were actively more than 30 centimeters underground at just the right moment and managed to survive.
Yeah. The burrows that weren't buried under tsunamis, global firestorms, vaporized in a fireball or anything like that, managed to hang out.
Yeah.
Basically, if you were over 50 pounds and you were on land and not buried, you died.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, same thing also happened in the ocean. There's like numerous species that died because of material falling in there. And then you have over sedimentary, you have anaerobic situations that would occur.
Except for sharks. Sharks survive everything.
Yep, sharks.
And
sharks,
cockroaches.
Turtles. Yeah. Sharks,
turtles. Oh my god.
And sharks, turtles, and crocodilians.
Did you? There was a picture that is going around Blue Sky of a turtle fossil, and it is massive.
Oh, Archelon, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Big.
Oh,
Tell
yeah, no,
me
Pamela,
more.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
Pamela, you need to see this because
Archelon is freaking rad.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me just pull him up real quick.
I've got it. Let me see. Should I share screen? Should I send this link to you? What should I do?
I send me the link because then I can drag it in front and I don't destroy the setup.
All right. I'm just gonna private message you.
That works.
Okay, here.
We shall share turtly goodness.
Yeah, weighed about 4 tons. Yeah.
Absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth that facial expression was priceless.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, the largest specimen I think is like 15 to 20 feet, something like that. Big honking turtle. Yeah. Big honking sea turtle to be exact.
Big honking sea turtle. And this was one of those, I kind of wish I had been that kid who had been into dinosaurs. I never really was. But had I, that would have gotten me. I think when I reshared it, my hashtag was turtles all the way down because the thing is ridiculous.
They were very, very cool, and they lived. Many of them lived in an area that no longer exists. But because it no longer exists, we have the entire breadbasket of the United States, the Western Interior Seaway. It was a very large interior seaway connecting effectively the Great Lakes to the Gulf of Mexico. and you had it full of turtles, sharks, crocodilians, all sorts of amazing things. But because that was on the North American continent, that kind of goes bye-bye when, again, big rocks say no. And yeah, they lived up right up to the late Cretaceous, and then, sorry, Western Interior Seaway go bye-bye. And yeah, it was just, it sucks because they're so cool. Imagine like a honking big 4-ton turtle just like cruising along.
I like this is the delivery truck of turtles. This is your granddaddy's pickup truck made into a circle. And you can just like imagine all the fish that would have been able to live symbiotically with something like this. This is an ecosystem of a turtle. And I am pleased. I am pleased.
Yeah, I'm glad I could make your day with that one, because it definitely made mine when I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, I want it. I want to see it.
Yeah, my pickup truck is just slightly longer than 5 meters. So yeah, looking at my truck and going, that was a turtle.
Yeah.
Head to tail. It's like, and this was a turtle that was living amongst, plesiosaurs, mosasaurs, some of the most terrifying marine reptiles to ever exist, and hunt them.
And you can imagine it just going zoop.
Yeah.
I'm a turtle.
And like they had likely, because of the way their shells are formed, likely the same level of interior shell protection as a leatherback. A leatherback turtle isn't soft. They're just called a leatherback because they have a coating, a skin coating over their scutes. Underneath is a very sharp, very tough skin, a very tough shell. But they had a beak like a hawksbill sea turtle that was not just used for crustaceans, but like hawksbills, are also capable of shearing flesh. Hawksbills love everything from fish to jellyfish. Just like they can just get it in there like a bird and just rip things apart. But then you have one that's 5 meters long.
Now
it's just like, what?
So to go back to the birds thing. So first of all, I have to share a comment from chat by On the Diagonal, who points out, I want to get this right, so I'm scrolling back. Where was it? It was an excellent comment. Okay, I'm going to be forced to paraphrase. So On the Diagonal pointed out that the first the first animal born in space was a dinosaur because it was a quail that hatched from an egg.
Which is really kind of cool.
It's really kind of cool. It's just very, very sweet. Now, we live in a time where we're starting to realize that birds truly are descended from the dinosaurs. And this makes me start wondering, whenever I've seen a pelican, my brain is like, pterodactyl. Brains do stuff like that. Pareidolia is real. Now, can we draw any actual, this dinosaur, like a shoebill, is actually more dinosaur-y than this canary over here?
Dinosaurs, specifically theropods, beast foot. If you look at the foot of a tyrannosaur or a dromaeosaur, like one of the quote unquote raptors, things like that, they have a very specific number of digits, 3 in the front, like a dew claw, or a larger claw in the back. That right there is like, oh wait, I've seen that foot before on on part of a chicken, that kind of thing. But that's not just the only thing that ties birds as dinosaurs. You've got hollow bones. You have feathers. You have the style of beaks, the way their hips move. You have tails. that are specifically designed with musculature, because we can see where the musculature points were on the tail vertebrae in order to either balance or be very flexible in order to steer, much like flying birds today. Which dinosaurs actually flew, or which Cretaceous dinosaurs actually flew? Very hard to say. There are some of them, such as Microraptor, that do appear to have both functional gliding wings on their forelimbs and hind limbs. And we know velociraptors had feathers. Most of the raptors, most of the dromaeosaurs did. There's a possibility that even tyrannosaurs were born with a small, like, proto feathers, kind of like long stringy fluff to keep them warm when they're young, and then they begin to shed it throughout their lives. But some of them may still be just clinging on, even an adult or a teenager. Mm-hmm. There's so many, and birds as dinosaurs weirdly enough, it's not a new thing. This has gone all the way back to the 80s. Mm-hmm. That they've been finding this evidence and tying it all together, but it never really reached critical mass, especially in a public review, until right around 1993, when something came out.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, paleontologists were going everywhere, going, 1, that's not a velociraptor. 2, they're not found in Montana. 3, where are its feathers? Mm-hmm. And then the public went, what are you talking about?
Jurassic Park. The musical group, I think it's Double Clicks, has a song about this that is absolutely amazing. And I randomly found out recently that I went to the same high school as the Double Clicks, we're just different ages. And I now need to reach out to them and have them on so we can bond over our escape into science and nerdery.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So Jurassic Park came out and communicated a whole lot of misinformation that got people asking questions. Now you've already heard all those questions, but I think a member of our audience has something new, because this is a question I've never heard, and now I want to know. And so the question coming in from La Magic de la Vie is, I know I'm asking a lot for speculation, but given that birds are descended from dinosaurs and crows have shown evidence of tool use, is there the possibility that dinosaur species could have developed tool use in the same way?
Quite possibly. It's speculation, it's conjecture, but looking at brain size to body ratio of crows, for example, mockingbirds, avians that have been known to use tools, and not just necessarily picking something up, but crows specifically do things like put walnuts in crosswalks and let cars break them open, or use sticks to pry insects out, or small mammals. They can open things. They can be taught. They will bring back
your camera lens covers if you drop one off of a bridge and it happens to be your friend.
Yeah. So brain to body ratio, the larger ones like Tyrannosaur really did have a small brain, but no, if you didn't move, it absolutely could see you. Its visual cortex was massive, and it could smell you from half a mile away. That was also mass misinformation. But I have always dreamed that, yes, because unlike in the movies, raptor claws don't work this way. They could not grab onto a door handle and open. Their bones did not pronate. They did not rotate. The radius and ulna did not flip over themselves.
They might have been able to do that if they had handicapper accessible doors. Therefore, use handicapper accessible doors so your cats, dogs, and velociraptors can get in.
But think about how a bird moves.
Yeah.
Their arms move like this. They stay on a plane. So their claws would be stuck vertical unless they're going like that. But that would be more in a flight pattern. So they wouldn't have to use their hands. What if a enterprising velociraptor picked up a large stick and was going after some proto mammal, shoving the stick under a log. The mammal runs out into its friends. Or what about using pack tactics? Or cunning and being able to ambush from distances. They had wings, glide down onto a target.
Yeah.
Puzzling and problem solving, I would conjecture yes, but again, it is just speculation. However, I am also a professional dungeon master, and I've designed dinosaurs for a multitude of games, and all of my dinosaurs are to the point of intelligence as crows and ravens, and I've scared players by all of a sudden dinosaur using a tool to try and pry a rock up that they're hiding under. So I go that route.
And see, I like the there's a little bit of a trend on Tumblr right now that is basically like, well, there's a possibility that these big dinosaurs did have some feathers, like you were saying, the proto feathers on the T-Rex. So what if we like, and the only reason that we don't draw them that way is because the feathers don't survive, and so we don't think about it. So one, people will draw feathered dinosaurs, which I think is hilarious, in like bright colors and everything. And two,
Yep.
They will draw modern birds without their feathers, and they are horrifying.
Oh yeah.
Horrifying. It's like, oh my gosh, no, please don't do that.
So this. Go ahead.
Sorry, go. No, I was going to say I have a nerd night talk called "That's Not an Effing Dinosaur," and it handles a lot of misinformation. For example, mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, pterodactyls, and all that were not dinosaurs; they were flying and/or marine reptiles. But it's also when paleontologists started talking about, hey, let's bring it into the public view. Obviously, people don't understand this, and go, hey, dinosaurs had feathers. There was a massive pushback from the public saying, well, feathers aren't scary. Have you ever seen a cassowary?
Oh my
Yeah.
herons. Great
Or a
gray
shoebill?
heron. Oh yeah. Those I don't encounter in the wild. There was one time I was walking around the barn and I came face to face with a great heron, and I'm like, I'm gonna walk, all the way around the building to the other entrance. It looked me in the eye. It would have eaten me.
Australia lost 2 wars to emus.
It's true. It's true.
Yes, they have. And that's a completely different panel, and that's really funny, that entire story. But like,
I'm with you.
Frigate birds, Arctic frigate birds, burying their head into their prey and coming up covered in blood. Condors, massive birds. Now think of one that's even bigger called Argentavis that was hanging around the Ice Age, the size of a Cessna. It's like, birds are scary. They can be terrifying.
I am not. I had a boss who had a parrot, and I have to say that parrot scared me more than anything else in my life, because it could destroy me so easily despite its small stature. I was like, that thing is going to kill me, and I am terrified of it. And she's like, it's a parrot. I'm like, you don't understand. Have you seen it eat things?
Okay, so sadly, we are starting to run out of time.
No, damn it.
I know. We're gonna have to have you back, and this is glorious, and I really hope you stream your Dungeons and Dinosaurs, because I am here for that, my friend. I am here for that.
I will neither confirm nor deny that I am attempting to get a computer that is more with the times instead of a 2011 HP desktop G1. God, this computer sucks. Because it can't. I don't have. Unfortunately, I can't see chat because I don't have.
Yeah.
I can't keep that many tabs open to watch Twitch while I'm on it. But I will be running at some point either on my own channel or on one of the channels I'm affiliated with a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition setting called Pangea, which we like to call it as Stone Punk. Metal doesn't exist. There's no numbers above 9. Don't write because it's taboo. I designed all the dinosaurs for it. And
I want in on this so badly. You have no idea.
Terrifying. And I'm currently writing the campaign, and at some point it will be public. But yeah, just follow me wherever I am. I'm kind of everywhere.
Yeah, I
Blue Sky,
appreciate
Twitter, and
this.
all that. And yeah, so I'm going to be doing. If you want to know how scary dinosaurs can be in role playing games, I'm your guy.
I can't wait, and I'm kind of hoping that you eventually come out with like your own RPG books that we can build in this universe that you've taken the time to create.
I can't discuss that right now.
All right, so we are running out of time. We will definitely have Trevor back for more. This has been amazing. And I'm now going to hand things over to our Minecraft team. I have Gordon Dewis, our very own keeper of maps, on standby to take us to Mars Base 2. Thank you, Trevor. Where can people find you all over the internet?
If you go to tattoosandbones.com, it's all one word, or sabercatindustries.com, they go to the same kind of like small beacon site. You can find me, you can find Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, Discord, my GoFundMe, Throne lists, and all of that, different games I'm in, just tattoosandbones.com. And you can find everything on there, including jerseys I helped design through Geeky Jerseys.
I'm going to have a moment. I'm sorry. You designed for Geeky Jerseys. We own like a bunch of Geeky Jerseys between my husband, myself, and one of my friends. Like,
oh wow, that's rad.
A dozen.
Yeah, I'm the creative designer for the Wizards of the Coastline, for example, the Beholders, the Eye Tyrants behind me, and the D&D jerseys and the Magic Gathering and all that. Yeah, I have a concept and I give it to our artist Andy, and he's like this? I'm like, yes, because I'm not an artist. I can't do a stick figure without a ruler and prayer, but I know what it looks like in my head. So yeah, you can find all that. And yeah, just go to the website, tattoosandbones.com.
Awesome. All right, we could do this forever, but I'm being told actually we can keep doing it a bit longer. You need...
Oh, are there any questions from chat? Because I can't read it, so I don't know what's going on. I mean, we talked about Jurassic Park. Undoubtedly, that's like, why were they called velociraptors then? I get that a lot. Let's see. I already did the Tyrannosaurs could actually see, and they could probably see in the dark. Fireballs, tsunamis, Chixulub, we covered that. Anyone can do paleontology. That's the thing. If you're young or if you've ever wanted to do it, contact your local natural history museum and see if there are volunteer shifts on digs. Yes, it's grueling, and you're in a hot area for like 6 months. 6 weeks. And you'll be doing a lot of grunt work, but you'll be along with paleontologists and brushing things off.
Eric, are you going to share your screen?
And doing the science along with them and learning.
Hello.
Which is really cool. So check different natural history museums in your area. Find if there's any USGS talks going on in the area. Learn geology. I came in it through biology, so you can do it that way. Start studying skeletons. Start studying osteology. But we need more people in paleo. And we definitely need more women and femme-presenting individuals in paleo.
That is...
Because it has unfortunately been a cis white male ivory tower garbage fire since the late 1800s. And that needs to change, thankfully, through people like Melanie, through Ashley Hall at Bozeman. Just like there's so many people out there that are changing things. And yeah, please, if you like STEM, if you want to get into dinosaurs, find a natural history museum, walk up to one of the educators or one of the people cleaning a fossil and go, hi, how can I do this?
And
because, yeah.
And, you know, you can be a dinosaur person, you can be a space person, and you can do both. And the dinosaurs don't care if the skies are cloudy. So they have that advantage. All right.
I like that.
I do have to wrap this up. We're going to actually go to Eric Mattis, who appears to currently be in the dark in Minecraft, but Hopefully, he will take us out into the light. So, switching over to Eric in 3, 2, 1.
Can you see my screen? I should be sharing. Huh. I don't think I'll be able to screen share. That's